What's up, brothers? Hey everyone, welcome back to another video with my husband. Everyone say hello to Riley.
Hi. We are filming a very special video.
He's gonna be picking 3 books for me to read this week, and I'm very excited. This is a video actually you guys have requested a lot. A lot of you want to see him pick the books that I read for a week, so that's what we're doing. And he's gonna pick 3. So the first one he's gonna pick is gonna be from my physical TBR, which is behind us. I gathered all the books that he can choose from because obviously he can't pick ones I've already read or any sequels or anything like that. Everything that he can pick from is behind us. So that's the first category. The second category is he's gonna look on my Goodreads. He's gonna scroll through my want to read list on Goodreads and pick anything from there. And then the third category, we're going to Barnes & Noble and he has free reign to pick any book from the bookstore. And I'm kind of scared because I think I have an inkling of what he's gonna choose for me.
Yeah, I'm most nervous about the Barnes & Noble section.
Why are you nervous?
Because I don't know books. Like, I am like...
Well, I know you know what you're picking already.
Well, I may choose that. I'm just so culturally illiterate in terms of like what people are reading right now. I'm not on BookTube.
Well, you don't have to be. It's okay. That's the whole point of this is like you're the one picking. You don't have to know what anybody else is reading. We're just going to the bookstore and you have free reign to pick literally anything. The power is yours. That's a lot of power. I've been looking forward to starting this video like all week because I just want to know what I'm going to be reading this week. Go ahead and choose for the first book. Anything that you can see the spine of. Be nice too. Don't pick any of my longest books.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. But that's
oh no. Point. Well, please think about it. Please have that in mind because
you have to read this in a week, right?
I have to read 3 books in a week. Okay. I mean, that's the goal.
I'm the type of person that does not read books, but when I do read books, usually when I'm, especially at a bookstore, when I've gone with you, I've tried to look for the books with the coolest covers. Obviously, if it has a cool cover, it must be a cool book, right?
He's a cover by enthusiast.
Because if it's an uninspired cover, then it's an uninspired book.
Oh, say that shit with your chest.
So I'm gonna choose like I'm gonna have some candidates first. Some
candidates? Okay.
Because this one, immediately it's gold, it's flashy. I like that. The Fourth Wing. I feel like I've heard of this before.
Oh yeah, you definitely have.
It's about dragons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fantasy guy. Dragons are cool.
Okay.
Candidate number 1.
Interesting. Oh my god.
I am aware of Brandon Sanderson. Mistborn I've heard a lot about.
Technically currently reading this, have not gotten very far at all. I think
Gotcha.
I just read the prologue.
Never half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. The City of Brass.
Bro, are we kidding right now? These are the books that he is picking. Oh, it's so dusty.
No, I'm just like...
Are we joking?
What? No, I'm just looking at it.
That's not a candidate?
No, I just wanted to look at it.
Okay.
These are the Disney ones, right?
Yeah.
The dark versions of them?
Alternate timelines.
So like what, the Beast rips up Belle?
Well, it says it on there. It says, what if Belle's mother cursed the Beast?
What if Aladdin had never found the lamp? What if the Sleeping Beauty never woke up? That's kind of...
That's so dark. What if Sleeping Beauty never woke up? You know?
Honestly, I feel like this should be like, what if the Beast tore up Belle instead? What if she didn't lift the curse?
Right. And he just mauls
What
her.
if the Beast was feral? We could do some Green Lights. Matthew McConaughey.
That would be fun. That's on my May TBR. I will let you know. But that's already a book I'm planning to read this month.
Candidate?
So. How many candidates are we going for here?
I'm doing 5 candidates.
5 candidates.
Doing
Okay.
5 candidates.
And then we're narrowing it down.
I thought you read the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle.
No, I read the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
What the heck? King of Scars.
By
Leigh Bardugo.
Lee.
Lee? That's not how you spell that.
Yes, it is.
It isn't, but
That's
okay.
Megan's middle name, Megan Lee.
Well,
That's how you spell it.
that's not how you spell that.
It is.
Crescent
Just
City.
going for the biggest books, I swear.
Ooh, see, now this is what I'm talking about. This is a cover that I have slight interest in,
You like
but
that
also
cover?
slight not interest because it's modern. It's like a modern Archer. We hate that. Now that I'm looking at it closer, we're not going to read it.
Oh, okay. Well, technically, I am still going to read it because it's on my TBR this month. So 2 more candidates. He's really, really thinking about this.
It's a decision that I can't take lightly. Can you grab that?
I appreciate that. Make sure to show them.
Okay, The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Honestly, I thought the title was something war, so that's why I picked it up in the first place.
Oh, okay. Not about war.
It's a ghost story. I'm not reading now. So that's 4.
Okay, 4th candidate.
And we'll do something a little out of my wheelhouse, something that doesn't have any kind of fighting or war or something that doesn't necessarily interest me. What's
Okay.
Drowning? Shatter Me. Is this the first in the...
That is, yeah.
That's the first in the Shatter Me, Swallow
Yeah.
Me, Swallow Me, Swallow Me? Oh, yeah. No.
Aww. You know I would like that, though.
Oh, and it's a signed edition. Here
So those
are
are your
our
candidates?
candidates. We have Drowning.
Poke my eye out. Drowning by T.J. Newman.
We have The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. We have Green Lands.
Green Lights by
Matthew
Matthew McConaughey.
All right. We have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. And Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros.
How are you going to decide this?
So
now?
allow me to question you a little bit on these, because that'll help me narrow these things down. Is there one of these that you do not want to read? Like you're like, ooh,
Well,
I really hope he doesn't pick that one.
No,
Okay, next question. Why are you so scared of Brandon Sanderson?
I'm not.
I saw the fear in your eyes.
No, I'm not scared. I'm not.
That wasn't convincing.
I'm not scared.
Matthew McConaughey. Do you like Matthew McConaughey?
I love Matthew McConaughey.
Cool. Turn to the Key. Do you know anything about this author?
Yeah.
Why did you buy this book?
I've heard a lot about this book specifically, and I mean the author. I bought it at like a thrift bookshop. When I go thrift shopping for books, I look for books that I recognize. This was one that I recognized, got it for a good, decent price, so I was like, oh, I'll get it. That was how I bought that.
Okay. Drowning. Is this about fig cookies?
No.
Newman's Own.
Huh?
Never mind, forget it.
Newtons? Fig Newtons?
Yes. Oh,
Not
it's Newton.
Newmans.
This is about a flight.
Yeah.
And people are drowning.
The flight lands in the ocean, I'm pretty sure. And it's about the rescue of Flight 1421.
So it's Lost, but in book form.
That's what I'm hoping, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to pick anything from my want to read shelf if this is how long you're taking for my physical books.
It's all good. So I don't think we're going to go with Ruth Ware, unfortunately.
Okay. That's all right. I'm not heartbroken.
You really are terrified of Brandon Sanderson.
I'm not. I'm not terrified.
You're horrified. I don't know what's scaring you about him or his writing. I've heard he's a good writer.
No. It's just that I'm afraid of like the other two books that you might pick that I just don't want it to be like a heavy week of reading.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll leave it out.
Okay.
Or will I? I'm just kidding. Okay, so Green Lights, I think it's a good book, but I think this is more just a leisure thing. I think you want to read something a little more interesting.
But I also, yeah. Okay.
We've come down to two. We've come down to Drowning, and I've already forgot the Fourth Wing. Based on covers, because I am the cover guy, this one is definitely cooler, I think, because it's nice and gold and shiny, and it has things to do with fantasy. This one, I know you like Lost.
This is completely up to you, though, you know?
No, I know. But I also want to choose something that I think that you'll like. Personally, I think this is more of a me book. This is more of a you book. And if I'm going to be picking a me book later, then I'm going to pick a book that's more geared towards you. So we're going to go with Drowning.
Okay, all right. So this is the first book. I'm actually very excited. I appreciate that. I would have been okay with Fourth Wing.
Is this the one that would have been like if people were looking at these two, they're like, oh, I hope he picks Fourth Wing.
Probably.
Really?
But it's okay. I'll read that eventually.
Is this one like, okay, so like...
This is the one that went crazy on like
This
Book
is the one that
Talk
went
and
dummy?
everything. Yeah, it went dummy yummy on... It went dummy on literally everything.
Navarre? Why does it sound so familiar?
And then the second book of it's already out too, The Iron Flame.
Iron Flame.
That's the one you've seen
cool
TikToks of people crying over.
Oh.
Yes. You know about the lore. Okay, no, but we're not doing that. So
okay.
Moving on.
So you're already like, oh, please don't change your mind.
No. I mean, you can change your mind, but I'm not trying to sway you.
It's not like
You already said this.
But yeah,
so
we'll go with this.
just stick with it. Stick with your decision.
I'm sticking.
So Drowning by T.J. Newman. This one is in the same kind of wheelhouse as this author's previous book, Falling, which I read. I think it's just like a similar vibe, but it doesn't have anything to do with the first book because it's not like connected in any way. It's just a separate flight. So that one is like falling out of the sky, or it's like a terrorist attack, and then this one just lands in the ocean and starts drowning. So yeah, sounds very fun. Sounds definitely up my alley, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Okay, next up, you're gonna choose from my want to read list on Goodreads. So this, I might have to kind of veto, is that the right word? Veto a couple of picks, because I might not be able to read it yet if it's like a series or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because this one says like 0.5,
yeah,
so says 3. So don't choose ones that are not one.
You can do that, whichever ones are one. I'll just let you know. If something you pick is not, I'm not able to, then I'll let you know. That's a long list. There's like, I think probably 600 books on there. So you could probably just randomly scroll if you want.
All right, we'll stop there. And now there's 4 books here. Am I Beautiful by John Athan. Run Red by R.G. Daly.
Oh my gosh, this is my extreme horror section.
I was going to say, these all look very interesting.
It's like where I went and like added a bunch of extreme horror at the same time. So they're all in the same, whatever. So you could change it.
Do you not want to watch?
Watch?
Wow.
You can change it between like whatever you want to sort it by, but also that extreme horror might be very difficult to find at Barnes & Noble.
Right.
That would be something I have to more get on Amazon, which is possible.
So now that we're just gonna...
I mean, you can just kind of scroll however you want,
Mongrels, Out on a Limb, Mr. Magic, Your Dad Will Do, A Touch of Temper. Oh. You wanna read that?
Your Dad Will Do.
My brother will.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm just gonna
Wow,
scroll past that one.
My Goodreads want to read shelf is exposing me right now.
That's awkward. Okay, oh, funny story. You just got that book, right?
Yeah, that's for Family Book Club.
This is like going through like the Walmart bins of movies and just being like, just trying to pick
Having
one,
no
you
idea
know?
what to pick.
We're gonna go with, what's this one? Oh, it's a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh dang it.
You could go to number 1 though.
How do I find that?
Click on it. Because I mean, that's also, wait, that's also on my list.
What Moves the Dead, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see what it's about. Retelling Edgar Allan Poe's classic. Oh, it's The Fall of the House of Usher. I just watched this show. You're reading this one.
Okay, that's easy. That one we will most likely be able to find at Barnes & Noble because I think I've seen it there before. So now we're gonna head over to Barnes & Noble to get book number 2 as well as him picking out book number 3.
This was the easiest part of the video, honestly.
I fear I've made a mistake. Are you really doing this to me? It's down there.
Oh yeah, it sure is.
Went straight to it.
This is a bigger book than I thought it was.
This is what I was afraid of. So you're gonna get the box set for you, but I'm just reading the first
Yeah, you're just reading.
Well, I kind of want that one though.
Which one?
The bigger one.
That one? Why?
Like, I want to read this.
Why?
I mean, that's just more enjoyable than this.
Oh, is that what this one is?
Yeah, I think I like
Yeah.
the bigger paperback. Oh, they're all damaged.
What the heck?
Shoot, bro, they're all damaged.
Oh, dang
Okay,
it,
it's fine. If you want the box set, it's fine. This one. Okay, so here are the 3 books he chose. He's making me read Dune by Frank Herbert. He is currently obsessed with Dune. He listened to the audiobook of this and he's currently listening to the next book. And so now he's forcing me to read it. I knew this is what he was gonna pick, obviously, because he loves Dune. He's also filming me, so you can say something if you want.
I like Dune.
Shia LaBeouf is upset.
I just said I like Dune.
Oh, I like Dune.
Listen,
I am a fan of the movies, though. The Dune Part 2 is phenomenal. Does this cover the second movie, too? Or is it just the first movie?
The movies are that book.
This is both movies.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited. It's really long and it's going to be intense, but I'm excited.
You'll do great.
So, which one do I read first?
I'm just kidding. I'm going to say Drowning.
I start with Drowning?
You're going to start with Drowning, then you'll go into Dune, and then you'll finish it off with...
What Moves the Dead?
What Moves the Dead.
Finished. On to Dune. Wish me luck. I finished this one in one day. Drowning. It was super quick. It just jumps right in to the storyline, and that's what I like about these 2 books, Drowning and Falling. The first sentence says, Will Kent opened his eyes just in time to see the engine explode. Everything takes off from there, or rather lands, crashes, falls apart. Like, worst case scenario happens 6 minutes after takeoff. It crashes into the Pacific Ocean. Just like in her other book, Falling, you're following a lot of characters, but specifically in it, you're following at least like one family. So this one is about Will and his daughter Shannon, who are on the plane together, and then Shannon's mom, Will's soon-to-be ex-wife, is part of the rescue team, and they end up getting a hold of each other while Will and Shannon and everybody else are at the bottom of the ocean. So they kind of have to work together. Collectively, they want to save their daughter, Shannon, even though they're having marital problems. So that's kind of like a subplot, but obviously the plane is at the bottom of the ocean and they have to figure that out. So if you're afraid of flying, probably don't recommend. If you're flying anytime soon, probably don't recommend. Me personally, I don't care. I don't have a huge fear of flying, and the fear that I do have, I'm like, well, if I'm meant to crash, like, it'll Like, I can't prevent what's gonna happen, you know? Like, everything happens for a reason. I have a lot more faith than I do have fear, so I don't really mind reading about like plane tragedies and plane crashes and stuff, even though later this month I will be getting on a plane going to Florida for family vacation. Just be mindful, like if you are maybe afraid of that, like it's kind of scary. I don't know what exactly it does that I don't like. I had the same feeling as when I read Falling. I was like, I like it, I want to like it more, but I just can't seem to, and I don't know why. So it could just be that maybe like the plane stuff isn't that thrilling to me, but nonetheless, like it still was enjoyable. It was still super quick, and I appreciate it for that. And I appreciate like how it just jumps right in to the story. So with that being said, I'm giving it 4 stars, which is also what I gave Falling. But I liked this one like a teensy bit more. Not enough to really give it a different rating. I like this one more because Falling is more of like a terrorist attack. Like there's people who hijack the plane. This one is just like worst case scenario. Everything about the plane's falling apart. There's no salvaging the situation or the people on board. Like you're going down. You're going into the ocean and you're gonna have to figure it out from there. I think I like crashing into the ocean, like the idea of that for a story was more intriguing to me. Because of how Falling ended up playing out, I was just kind of like, oh, that was whatever. But this one was a lot more like suspenseful in that way, and I really liked it. So 4 stars. So first book down in the video, and I'm really glad that I read that in one day, so now I have a lot more time to read Dune and try and get through this bad boy. So I'm starting this today, and I'm actually excited. I was saying earlier that we watched the movies together. Riley's a huge fan of Dune. He's hyper fixating on it like hard right now. So I'm excited to also read it and like just talk with him about it. I know he loves it so much. Alright guys, I have an update on Dune. I am over halfway. I'm so proud of myself for reading this, honestly. And the fact that I'm enjoying it so much is so exciting. I'm on page 480, and a good chunk of this portion at the end is like the appendix. So this is all I have left to read. It's taken me about like 4 days to get through this, and I knew obviously that this would take up the majority of my reading this week. It's good that the final book that I have for this is gonna be like in one sitting. It'll be super fast. So I'm planning to finish this by tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get through like maybe another 80 to 100 pages today. Yeah, I'm having such a great time. Like honestly, I don't want it to end, and I don't want to have to like speed through it, but I'm loving it so much. And I don't know if I have like officially emphasized this yet, but I have watched both movies. And normally I like to steer clear of watching movies before reading the book. I just like to read the book first. I think mostly because once I watch the movie, I feel like I have no real desire to want to read the book after that. But in this case, like if you've seen the movies or read the book, you'll know that there's not too much that is like plot twist or like shocking or really anything that like is meant to be suspenseful in book format, if that makes sense. It's just overall a great storyline, great world, and like the politics are awesome, and like the cast for the movie is amazing. It's one of those situations where it's like, I'm not reading this book for the plot twist or for any sort of shocking moment, which is typically why I read, like why I'm drawn towards thrillers and stuff, because that's where I find a lot of joy in reading, is things that can surprise me. But knowing from the movies that there really isn't that aspect in the story hasn't like deterred me from wanting to read the book after seeing the movie. In fact, I'm so glad that I watched the movies before reading the book, because now I'm picturing every scene as I'm reading, and I think that's the best way to go about it, honestly, because it's so fun getting all the extra details and like the extra scenes that are in the book, but on top of that you're still able to watch the movie as you're reading, but you just get like more kind of behind the scenes, a little bit more of inner monologue moments. It's super awesome, and I am so surprised that I am obsessing over it. But I think it's so interesting because before Dune Part 2, the movie, came out, the books were kind of resurfacing, because obviously this came out in like the 60s or something, like it's super old. The author Frank Herbert has now passed away and has been for quite a while. So it's sad to know that he has not been able to see the amazing franchise that it has still been to the world. His son Brian, I believe, is still alive, but I just think that that's so interesting that like his legacy has continued way past probably he thought imaginable. I don't know, but I feel like that's so impressive. And the fact that he died, I think in the 80s when like the original Dune movies came out, or maybe it was just one movie, like that's all he got to witness in his lifetime. But then since then, very recently, like the new Dune movies with Timothée Chalamet are incredible. Like they are peak cinema. I just love that that was able to be a thing because of his mind and his storytelling abilities, and like the way that he could just conjure up this entire world and these characters. It's just incredible that the minds that humans have sometimes. Again, I'm just really happy to be reading this after the fact of watching the movies. It really heightens the experience for me. The book in and of itself, like it is funny at times. Like there's actually humorous moments in this that I'm laughing at. Just having the best time, honestly. Everything that I'm reading, I'm just like relaying to Riley, because I mean he's already read it. He's been rereading it with me. Like I'll read it out loud or put the audiobook on and we'll kind of just like listen together. Like there's this part where Stilgar calls one of the Fremen sand-brained piece of lizard turd or something, and I just think it was so funny. Stilgar is by far like the funniest character in the book, but it's like not even like an intentionally funny thing. It's just like the way that Frank built the characters, it just jumps off the page at you, and it's so noticeable, like their personalities and their banter. It just is like palpable. Anyway, I think I got sidetracked. I was trying to say that when these books, like when they started to resurface again, probably when like these new editions came out, I'm not 100% sure, but like I remember seeing maybe like last year, someone that I watch on BookTube is like a huge fantasy, huge sci-fi reader, and I saw a video of them like attempting to read this. They were like, I can't do it. It's so dense. It was just like so beyond them. They just weren't grasping the story. It was a very difficult, heavy science fiction read for them at the time, and I remember seeing that and then just immediately getting turned off by the book. I was like, well, if they can't read it or understand it, there's no way I'm ever reading that book. They probably didn't watch the movies first, because I feel like if you watch the movies, you'll get it. That's coming from me. If I can understand it, especially just after watching the movies a couple times, then I think really anybody can. It's not that difficult. But also what's really helpful is having a husband that is obsessed with them and just like the Dune universe in general, and so into like the lore of everything. So it's great that I have him on standby to like answer all my questions about every little thing, and he like knows. So I highly recommend having someone, you know, around you who is obsessed with Dune, because that's helpful in understanding what's going on in the story. But I realize that that's not the case for everybody. But if you do have someone in your life like that, I definitely recommend like starting up a conversation with them about it and just like kind of talking it out, because that's really helped me understand it more. I'm very happy and proud of myself that I am digesting this book well, and I'm loving every second, every page, even the scenes that aren't in the movie and that are so dragged out in these books, and then the scenes that are in the movie that are like, you know, 3 minutes maybe, are like a whole chapter of like 10 pages or more. I just think that that's the beauty of reading books that have movie adaptations, because then you just get to suck so much more out of the story versus watching the movie. It's like, oh, that was such a quick interaction, but in here you're like getting so much more than that. I might not be able to shut up about it anymore, which is wild. If I may be so bold to say, this could be my favorite book of 2024. So I'm gonna finish. I had like 300-ish pages left. I'm gonna hopefully have it finished by tomorrow, and then we'll move on to the final book. Also, you can see that Riley broke the spine right down the middle. It was not me, because this is technically his copies. Like he bought the box set for himself, so they're technically his copies, but I did not do that. He did that. Just split it right down the middle. I was like, oh, all right then. Don't seem to care too much about the integrity of the spine, I guess. But at least it wasn't my fault. He did that, so don't worry. Riley,
Yeah.
come here. I have finished.
You finished?
I finished.
Thoughts?
I loved it. And I knew like right off the bat, like at the very beginning, that it was gonna be 5 stars. So that's what I'm giving it. I am so surprised, honestly. I loved
I knew you
it
would
so
like it.
much. And also, it might be like my favorite read of 2024. How does that make you feel?
Feels phenomenal.
Like, that's crazy.
I'm kind of dreading this. I'm scared. I don't know what to think.
No, I was so scared. I didn't know like what the writing style would be. I thought it would be a lot more dense and like confusing. Even like without the movies in mind, like it was still easy to read. I was not expecting it to be that easy, but it was very digestible. But yeah, I really liked it.
That's great.
And it's 5 stars.
Like, having read the book and also watched the movies, was there anything in the books that you wish were in the movies?
No, and I actually can appreciate like the differences that there were. Like, I liked the extra things that the movie did and also the extra things that the book had. So I think it was like a good combination of seeing what happens in the book like in the movie, but I also liked their differences a lot.
You did it.
I freaking did it in less than a week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The audiobook is really good though too, because I like the ambiance noises and like the different character voices. Like, it's a huge cast, so that was fun to also have. Because I didn't want to speed it up too much. The highest I listened to it, I think, was 1.4. But I was like, I don't want to listen to it that fast because it kind of ruins the voices.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds better slowed down. So when I needed to like pick up the pace, I would just read it.
Do you think you'll read Messiah now?
Eventually, maybe. I don't know anything about what that one's about, so I'd have to look into it. It was funny too. Like, why was it humorous? There were so many times where I like actually laughed out loud.
I know, I remember hearing you.
His writing was just like so funny. I always like caught me off guard. I was just like, huh, cool. All right, we're down with the most daunting one of the video. Now we just have this little guy to get through, and then I'm done with the books that you picked out for me this week. This will take me in one sitting. I'll finish this tomorrow. I'm really excited to be reading this one today because it is super short and it is horror, and I have not read horror in a long time. Maybe like almost halfway. I was reading it a little bit by the pool today while I was out tanning, which was so nice, but now it's a little bit later in the day and I'm going to try and finish the second half. But yeah, what this one is about, a retired soldier named Alex Easton receives a letter from one of their childhood friends, Madeline, that basically says she's dying and her brother is taking care of her. So Alex goes to the home of the Ushers to kind of find out what's going on. But yeah, it is a retelling of the fall of the House of Usher. But I know nothing about that like original story by Edgar Allan Poe. Is it like a, yeah, it's not like a retelling, it's just like a reimagining. But yeah, it's not bad so far. I like that it's a little atmospheric and creepy, so fast-paced and quick. Like, it just got to the point of Alex getting to the house, meeting up with Madeline, like seeing the state that she's in, which is like a super concerning state because she literally does look like she's about to die any second. And then they just find out that there's like some creepy things about the house that they're trying to uncover or deal with before anything bad could happen. It's a little bit creepy, a little bit eerie, and I love that.
So it has been 7 days and Sydney is finally done with all the books I had picked out for her. Sydney, which one out of these 3 books was your favorite? I figured it would be this one.
This is number 2.
This is number 2?
Yeah.
This was number 3? I feel like this one would have been higher. Because honestly, Dune, I did not expect it to be number 1 for you, based on your initial reaction. But I figured that this would be like a second, because I know you like this concept.
This is just too predictable, as was the other book by this author. But I really liked this one, because it's like horror and creepy and like kind of gross. It brought out a lot of reactions when I was reading it. I was just like, but I'm excited to watch the show. I think this, I'm gonna land on a 4.25.
4.25.
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
No, I have 0 thoughts actually.
That's a great rating for this.
And what did you rate this one?
That's a 4.
This is a 4, and then this is a 5.
And a 5. It adds to how much I love it. Partially just the experience of it, that I know like it's what you wanted me to read, and it's such an accomplishment to read. I have like a really strong connection to this book now because of the way that it came about me finally reading it.
Okay, so another question I have is, how did I do? Give me a star rating on my selection of books that I chose.
I am giving you a 5-star. You did a great job because you picked different genres, you know, like kind of like a classic sci-fi, and then you picked a horror novella, and then just like a general thriller that I like too. The variety was great, and also the variety in lengths was great. I had a fun time. So yes, 5 stars for Miss Mr. Riley. I was gonna say my husband, and I just ended up saying Miss. Whatever.
And I have one final question. Would you let me pick 3 books for you again?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah, I liked doing it that way. I'll let you do it again sometime. We'll do a part 2, another video like this. But that wraps it up for this one. Thank you for watching this video. Bye!